One of the poorest countries in Africa has just paid off the incredible debt of $4.8 billion without any help from the West. In a world where it has always been said that Africa could not survive without loans and financial aid from Western powers, this West African country has defied expectations and broken the rules of the game. How? We'll talk about it in this video. By making a bold and unprecedented decision to break free from the grip of Western powers, Ibrahim Traoré has just done something unthinkable. Imagine a country often considered one of the poorest in Africa, facing terrorist threats and internal conflicts, choosing to no longer submit to the logic of international loans and subsidies. Burkina Faso did exactly that. Instead of reaching out to financial institutions like the IMF or the World Bank, no, it looked inward and turned to its own citizens, its banks, its businesses, and its local markets. With a clear vision and a bold strategy, the government issued national bonds to finance its repayment. It may seem surprising, but this move was truly a masterstroke. But that's not all. Burkina Faso didn't just pay off its debt. Like an entrepreneur, he took this situation and turned it into an opportunity. Thanks to its natural resources, especially gold mining, the country was able to secure its domestic borrowings. Since Ibrahim Traoré came to power, the gold mining sector has undergone significant changes. You may recall, for example, that the government has taken decisive measures to strengthen national sovereignty over its mineral resources. Among the most remarkable actions was the nationalization of certain strategic mines, such as the Bougouagnian and Ouaguiogan mines, which became a strong and powerful symbol of Burkina Faso taking back control of its natural resources. I made an entire video about it. At the time I was in China. I'll put the link somewhere here. Go check it out. It was a real masterstroke. These decisions have concretely allowed the country to reduce its dependence on foreign companies and to maximize the profits from gold mining in order to fund national projects. The government has also strengthened transparency in resource management. I want to mention here, strengthening transparency. Okay, that's very important in order to eliminate major issues like self-interest. So increasing transparency, which very often encourages local investment. Often people involved in corruption do not realize the harm they are doing to their country. So focused are they on themselves and their own interests. The revenue generated from mining, especially the gold we are discussing, has been a cornerstone of the strategy to finance infrastructure projects such as social programs, while also reducing the country's vulnerability to fluctuations in global commodity prices. Because very often we do not take this factor into account. It's a masterstroke. There's nothing more to say about that. Meanwhile, Western powers, especially the European Union, imposed sanctions and suspended their aid due to the political upheavals. Guess what? Burkina Faso chose not to submit. I repeat, Burkina Faso chose not to submit. Rather than bowing under pressure, the country took its destiny into its own hands, refusing to rely on foreign aid. Instead, it reinvested in its infrastructure, its people, and its economic future. It showed the entire world that an African country can break free from dependence on the West and succeed on its own terms. This success is much more than a financial victory. It is a powerful message to all of Africa. Economic independence is possible. Burkina Faso has proven that with strong political will, local resources, and a commitment to the country's self-sufficiency, a nation can not only survive but thrive. This revolutionary model, please, far from following the traditional path of dependence, of begging, of asking for aid, opens up a new model. It creates a new economic paradigm for how to see things, to envision things, to undertake. Because the reality is that at the root of all this, the main reason why Burkina Faso was able to pay off a domestic debt of around $4.8 billion is that somewhere there was an entrepreneurial vision behind it. The challenge that now arises is the following. Why aren't other African countries following this bold example? If Burkina can succeed in such a difficult situation, why do other nations continue to rely on foreign aid, specifically Western aid? Does Africa still have to wait for the West to dictate its destiny, like a parent speaking to their child? Or can it finally take its future into its own hands? Burkina Faso has paved the way. We say thank you for these achievements. We watch and we let ourselves be inspired. But above all, it's time for the rest of the continent to do the same. That's about it for the video. Let me know what you think about the very good news that was announced by the former Prime Minister. Unfortunately, this isn't news that has been covered by the media. I wonder why. We should be talking about this everywhere. We have a striking example of an African state, often called poor or even very poor, that is managing to free itself from the traps of economic dependency, all while having a government with an entrepreneurial mindset that knows how to invest in its people, in its raw materials, and that understands the value and importance of controlling its natural resources. I'll be waiting for you in the comments and see you in the next video. Peace.